What's up, you guys? Today we are talking about angles, the pivot and the reverse pivot, some combinations and techniques that you can hit afterwards. All right, what's up, you guys? Today we're talking about angles and footwork. One of the most common ways to just get out of the way of your opponent and set yourself up is just stepping towards your lead side and angling out here. A common mistake that I see is people will just turn on a dime, so they're just turning right there. Really, one of the big main points that you want to do is make sure you're stepping out on your lead foot before you make your turn, okay? Patrick, can I use you, buddy? So if my partner just steps straight in on a straight line, again, all I want to do is step out and then push off of my back foot, essentially inviting them into the space that I was just standing in, but not going so far where I can't counter, okay? So he steps in, I step and I turn, and he's still well within reach of my counter. Let me change the angle. He steps in, boom, boom, boom. A pretty common counter that you would go to is really anything off of your power side. So your cross, your knee, your kick, anything off of your rear side. The reason being, I just stepped out and I loaded that side up. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's a good idea to go ahead and fire that, okay? All right, again, so my partner steps in, I'm gonna step to the side and immediately counter with my power side that I just loaded up. From here, I'm actually gonna go cross to pin his hands up, and then I'm gonna fire my rear kick either to the body or to the head, depending on where his guard goes. He steps in, shoo, shoo, shoo. Again, boom, shoo, shoo. He steps in, shoo, shoo, shoo. And sometimes your partner steps in a little bit more than you expected, or you just end up a little bit closer than you would like to for the kick. You can change it pretty easily to your knee, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Another very commonly used technique is a check hook off of the pivot. This is really great because it gives you not only the space that you need to get out of your opponent's way, but you're also striking while you're taking the angle, okay? Some of the best at this are Floyd Mayweather, famously knocked out Ricky Hatton with a big check hook. Canelo Alvarez, some of the best fighters in the world have mastered the check hook. I myself have stolen rounds and scored a ton with this technique, so definitely study it and make it a part of your game. You can just catch it with your left hand as you step in, yeah. Right hand stays tight. Two big knuckles right into the pad. Okay, and again, you can pair your check hook with your cross, check hook, rear kick, rear knee. All of those devices are there for you, but the check hook is a great way to set those up. Turning this way is a great way to stay in your original stance. Here in a second, we'll get into the reverse pivot, but with this little hop and this slide towards your left, you can stay in your original stance. You can stay with all of your kind of go-to counters without having to mirror it to your opposite stance. All right, so in a perfect world, we can always turn left. It just comes a lot more naturally to most of us, and it sets up your power side, and it's really, really nice. But you know, sometimes your back is against the wall, the ropes, the cage, sometimes the ref is there, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you need to be able to turn the opposite direction, okay? Something that I've been seeing a few of our athletes kind of struggle with is when they want to turn this way, they want to do all this extra like shoulder motion here. Maybe you come from a boxing background or whatever, whatever the case may be, you can cut a lot of the fat out of this movement. For me personally, whenever I want to pivot towards my lead side, but I also want to get off the center line, I can simply push off my front foot and turn and slide. I'm still in a nice range to counter, right? But I don't need to do all of this extra stuff, especially where I'm like turning my shoulders away from my target, turning my head away from my target. I don't really know what they're doing. I'm not really tracking them all that well. Some people think that it looks cool, and that's fine too. But for me, I just like to keep it as efficient and as real as possible. All I'm trying to do is get out of the way, but keep my eyes on my opponent and set up strikes. All right, for the reverse pivot, we are gonna end up kind of stepping into our opposite stance, and that's okay. We're gonna be so far outside of our training partner's jab that we're gonna be set up for a ton of great strikes, okay? So he steps in, I'm gonna reverse pivot. And the way that I do this is I'm just gonna kind of step in line with my lead foot and then push off of my lead foot to end up in my opposite stance. Boom. Again, I always just wanna invite my training partner, my sparring partner, or my opponent basically into the space that I'm in. That way I'm still nice and close for my counters. The first one, I'm just gonna step pivot, hook over the top, and left kick to the body. This left kick is gonna be on the liver. Super nice. Boom, 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 boom. I can do the same thing with the knee if the distance changes up a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Or I can hit the cross up high. Another cool thing about the reverse pivot is I'm going to be really far behind my opponent, basically taking his back, looking at him from a side profile. It's a great opportunity for a sweep or a dunk. Nice. Very dramatic fall. Thank you for that, Patrick. For this one, there's a couple of quick details I can kind of touch on. So he steps in, bop, and now I want to make it like as much of a straight line of getting like underneath and through him as possible. A big mistake that I see a lot of times, I'll cut this angle, and some athletes will like stay kind of outside here and try and make this dump happen. Ideally, what I want to do is get like under and through him some here. So I keep my hand up high to the far side shoulder, and then I just get my thigh underneath the back of his leg here. Have that nice little pendulum effect, okay? One more time. I'm gonna stand really strong into that rear leg, and I'm just gonna basically push him right over the inside of my right leg, okay? So here's a little flow to help you with your check hook, okay? Obviously just starts with just a check hook. Bang. And then I'm gonna step back cross into the check hook. Bang, bang. And then step back three hands, jab, cross, hook. Bang, bang, bang. Coach Vince brings up a really good point of if you're constantly cutting an angle to the side, are you cutting an angle at all? Right? I know it's deep and esoteric, but if I can step back on a straight line and then cut off to the side, I might have a better chance at truly cutting an angle on my target and setting up some strikes after, okay? So one more time, check hook. Step back, check, cross hook. Boom, boom. Step back, three hands. Boom, boom, boom. Check hook. Boom. Step back, cross hook. Boom. Step back, three hands. Boom, boom, boom. Fuck yeah, good job, buddy. What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for watching that video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want to see anything else in particular.